In January 2025, Klarna's CEO announced they'd replaced 700 customer service workers with AI. Duolingo laid off 10% of contractors. Shopify's 𝗕𝗿𝗄𝐿 tweeted, "The era of infinite leverage is here." The promise was clear. Replace 80% of developers with AI, save billions, code faster, innovate harder. 14 months later, they're facing a $61 billion technical debt crisis, a code base they can't fix, and developers who won't come back. This is the story of the great AI replacement disaster of 2026, and it's not over yet. Let's rewind to early 2025. ChatGPT could write code. Claude could debug. Devin promised to build entire features autonomously. The pitch was simple. Why pay a senior developer $180,000 when AI can do it for just $20 a month? So they started cutting. Google laid off 12,000 engineers in January 2023, then another wave in 2024. Meta cut 21,000 jobs across 2022 and 23. Microsoft, Amazon, Salesforce. The dominoes fell. By mid-2025, smaller companies followed. The plan? Keep a handful of AI supervisors to manage the bots. Everyone else, gone. GitLab's CEO publicly stated they were using AI to do the work of 10 engineers. Cognition Labs raised $175 million for Devin, their AI software engineer. VCs were salivating. One startup CEO from a company called Atomic Semi literally tweeted, "We replaced our entire dev team with Claude 3. Shipped faster than ever." By December 2025, that startup had burned through their runway debugging AI-generated code. Their product? Still broken. Here's what they didn't tell their shareholders. The 3 disasters. Disaster number 1, slop code. You know that feeling when you copy-paste from Stack Overflow without understanding it? AI does that, but at scale, with confidence. One major fintech company, and I'm keeping them anonymous because the lawsuits are still pending, had AI generate 3 million lines of code in 6 months. Sounds productive, right? Wrong. When human engineers finally audited it, they found the same function written 47 different ways. SQL injection vulnerabilities in 23% of database queries. Variables named temp123 through temp8847. And my favorite, a sorting algorithm that worked but took 6 hours to sort 1,000 items. A human would have done it in milliseconds. But here's the worst part. Nobody understood the code well enough to fix it. The AI supervisors? They weren't senior engineers. They were junior devs promoted because they were good with ChatGPT, and managers who'd never shipped production code. You can't supervise what you don't understand. So companies had 2 options. 1, delete everything and start over. 2, keep the 3 million lines of garbage and pray. Most chose prayer. Bad choice. Disaster number 2, the debugging nightmare. Problem 2, AI can write code. It cannot fix code. When code breaks, you need to understand why. What was the developer thinking? What's the edge case? What's the context? With human-written code, you can ask the developer or read their comments or trace their commit history. With AI code, good luck. Stripe. Yes, the Stripe publicly disclosed in their Q4 2025 earnings call that they had integrated challenges with AI-assisted development. Translation? Their payment processing had mysterious bugs they couldn't trace. One finance startup discovered their payment system was randomly failing for transactions over $10,000. Randomly, no pattern. Turns out the AI had hallucinated a currency conversion check that triggered on 5-digit numbers. But only sometimes, depending on nobody knows. It took them 3 weeks and $2 million in lost transactions to find it. And then there's the unnamed streaming service that went completely offline for 18 hours because their AI optimized the database schema. Optimized it right into the ground. The rollback? Impossible, because nobody understood the before state well enough to restore it. They had to rebuild from backups, lost 18 hours of user data. Stock dropped 23%. All because AI thought it knew better than decades of database design. If you're wondering how many more disasters are coming, And trust me, there are more. Hit subscribe, because Barely Human Labs experiments on modern life in the age of AI, so you don't have to. Now, back to the catastrophe. Disaster number 3, the talent exodus. Problem 3, developers you fired? They're not coming back. By September 2025, companies realized they needed humans after all. So they started hiring. Nobody applied. Why would they? 𝐁𝐚𝐫𝐽𝐻, author of the Pragmatic Engineer newsletter with 500,000 subscribers, documented this in real time. Developer after developer posting the same message. You fired me to save money. You replaced me with a chatbot. Now your chatbot broke everything and you want me back? My rate just tripled, and I'm still saying no. His most viral post got 127,000 likes on Twitter. The companies that did convince developers to return, they paid ridiculous premiums. Bloomberg reported senior engineers at major tech companies now command $400,000 to $600,000, up from $180,000 pre-AI panic. Remember, they fired these people to save money. Now they're paying 3x to fix the mess the savings created. The math isn't mathing. Let's talk numbers, because this disaster is quantifiable. Technical debt from AI-generated code? $61 billion across the tech industry. That's not theoretical. That's Gartner's estimate for the cost to fix or replace broken AI code in 2025 and 2026. For context, that's more than the GDP of 100 countries. Average salary increase for developers who return? 280%. Companies thought they'd save $180K per developer. Instead, they're now paying $500K per developer to fix code that costs $20 a month to generate. Average time to fix one AI-generated bug? 4.7 hours. Average time to write it correctly in the first place? 45 minutes. Let that sink in. Startups that went bankrupt entirely from AI code disasters? 73 in 2025 alone. That's 1 every 5 days. Crunchbase tracked this. These weren't tiny side projects. These were venture-backed companies with real users. Products delayed by 6+ months. Over 200 major releases. Some of these were apps you use daily. You just didn't know why the update never came. Lawsuits filed by shareholders against CEOs for the AI replacement strategy? 1,847. Because, yes, firing your entire engineering team to bet on chatbots is potentially a breach of fiduciary duty. And here's the scariest one. 34 confirmed security breaches. Security breaches traced directly to AI-generated code vulnerabilities. 34 major incidents reported to the SEC. Credit card data, health records, social security numbers. Stolen because the AI didn't understand OAuth 2, didn't sanitize inputs, didn't validate certificates. And humans weren't there to catch it. So why did smart people make such a catastrophically dumb decision? 4 reasons. 1. Short-term thinking. Quarterly earnings looked amazing when you cut $50 million in salaries. Shareholders cheered. Executives' bonuses rained down. Meta's stock jumped 20% after their 2023 year of efficiency layoffs. Wall Street loved it. The code debt? That's next quarter's problem. Except next quarter came, and the quarter after that, and the bill came due. 2. They confused daemons with production. AI is incredible at daemons. Build me a to-do app. Boom, done. Perfect. But production code isn't a to-do app. Production code is a 10-year-old system with 47 microservices, legacy database schemas, GDPR compliance requirements, and edge cases that would make your head spin. AI can't handle that, yet. 3. Non-technical executives made technical decisions. When your CEO's background is finance and your CTO got the job because he's good at PowerPoint, they don't understand what developers actually do. They think developers just type, like fast typists. They don't see the architecture decisions, the debugging intuition, the understanding of trade-offs, the thinking. So they thought, if AI can type code, it can replace developers. That's like saying, if a robot can hold a scalpel, it can replace surgeons. 4. FOMO. Everyone else was doing it. Nobody wanted to be the CEO who didn't get AI. Marc Andreessen said software is eating the world. Sam Altman said AI would replace programmers. Jensen Huang said kids shouldn't learn code. So they copied each other off a cliff. Lemming-style innovation. So where does this leave us? If you're a developer, you basically won. Salaries are skyrocketing. Job security is back. Companies are desperate. The median software engineer salary hit $165,000 in 2025, up from $120,000 in 2023, according to Stack Overflow's developer survey. You have all the leverage. If you're a company, you're rebuilding, hiring humans, accepting that AI is a tool, not a replacement. Microsoft's Satya Nadella put it perfectly in February 2026. Copilot is called Copilot for a reason. It's not called autopilot. The smart ones are using AI to help developers work faster, not replace them. Pair programming with AI? Great. AI writing boilerplate? Excellent. AI replacing your entire team? Catastrophic. If you're a shareholder, you're suing and probably winning. And if you're AI, you're still just AI. Helpful, impressive, game-changing even, but not human, not yet, not even close. So here's the lesson Barely Human Labs wants you to remember. Efficiency is not the same as understanding. AI can generate code efficiently, but it doesn't understand code. And in a complex system, understanding is everything. The companies that survive this, they're the ones who ask the right question. Not, can AI do this, but should AI do this? And what happens when it breaks? Because it will break. And when it does, you need someone who understands why. This is Barely Human Labs. We experiment on modern life in the age of AI. Subscribe if you want to watch the next disaster before it happens. Because trust me, there's always a next disaster.